On to this story we've been following. Chicago police still waiting to re-interview Jussie Smollett, as new reports claim the Empire actor may have been involved in faking a racist letter sent to him on the set of his own show. Harvey Levin is the founder of TMZ. TMZ broke this story. Harvey, good morning to you. Welcome.
Morning, Harvey.
Thanks, guys.
What can you tell us this morning? What are we learning about this bizarre story?
Well, as to the there are developments on a bunch of fronts, but as to the letter, it is true that the FBI initially, when the letter was received at Fox Studios in Chicago, the FBI looked at it. For some reason, they backed off it once this alleged attack occurred. They are back on it. Now, the one thing that I can't say is that the FBI is now targeting Jussie as the sender of the letter. They are just reopening this investigation.
Okay, Harvey, you broke this story in the very beginning. Why did you believe it?
I didn't say I believed it. What we said was, this is what Jussie said. I never said I believed it. We reported what Jussie said happened. I can tell you that from the beginning, police had suspicions. We knew about the suspicions, but they, on the record, were saying we consider him a victim.
So, but when you first went to print with this story online, you had Jussie's version of events.
Right.
Did you run that by police in Chicago before you went online with it?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, they said we consider him a victim of this crime. And they maintained that for almost 2 weeks.
Okay. So you mentioned the letter now. What else is suspicious today, or what else is new today?
Well, what's new is it looks like this case may go to the grand jury as early as today. And the brothers who say that they were paid by Jussie to concoct this scheme are going to go before the grand jury. They did not receive immunity. They were not subpoenaed. They're doing it all voluntarily. And they met with prosecutors yesterday, presumably, to go over some of the things that they're going to tell grand jurors. But the focus of the grand jury investigation is whether Jussie should be indicted for a felony, which is filing a false police report.
Right, because right now the Chicago police want to re-interview him. That invitation's been out there for multiple days now, and he's not shown.
Yeah, and we are told that what he needs to do to avert a grand jury is literally a Hail Mary, where somehow he comes up with something that makes the police believe it. It's just not going to happen. And as a matter of fact, I have no doubt Jussie is not going to talk to the police again. I think he's done with that. It just doesn't make any sense given where this is right now. And we're being told by law enforcement the second he refuses to go, it goes immediately to the grand jury.
A couple questions here, Harvey. Did he bring his story to you first? Is that how that began?
No. As a matter of fact, there was a website, an obscure website, that broke this thing vaguely, that there was an attack, and we saw that, and then we started calling various people from his camp, and it took a couple of hours until we finally, got at least his side of this story. But it was a web, and I forgot the name of it now, but it was a website that posted this several hours after the alleged incident happened.
In your business, you cover Hollywood. Did you know about his reputation in Hollywood? Were you a little on the fence at all, given his past history?
Absolutely not, Bill. Jussie is a well-liked person, both on and off the Empire set. There was absolutely, people are stunned. I mean, they're still stunned. They can't make sense of this. But there was absolutely no clue that we had, and that anybody we've talked to throughout this whole thing had, that something like this could go down.
Have you tried to explain to yourself, after that description of this man, why we are where we are today and why this story has taken these bizarre twists and turns?
I mean, look, I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not going to pretend to do that. I think anybody who does is irresponsible. But I will say this, that the brothers have said that Jussie felt that he should have gotten more traction in terms of outrage over that letter that was sent. And again, we don't know who sent it, but felt that there should have been more traction, and that's what the brother says. They're insinuating strongly, at least, that that was the motivation.
Harvey, just one last question here. When you have watched the developments that have taken hold of the country's imagination over the past week, do you play back any of the events in your own mind as to how you originally reported this, and perhaps maybe a sense of apprehension in the future when stories like these cross?
I would absolutely report that story again, Bill. I'm not even sure I understand your question. Of course I would report that story.
You've got
hold on.
Let me
you got an
reframe
actor. Well, no, you asked the question. You got an actor who says that he was the victim of a homophobic, racist attack. The police say we're treating him as a victim and we're investigating. Why would we not do that story?
Last question. What do you think about the reaction of those who have pulled back some of their initial reaction to the situation in Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, there are two ways of looking at this. One is, are you reporting the story? Of course you're reporting the story. I mean, that's not even an issue. But people who made judgments about the story, that I believe it's true, that, all of that, that's where you got a problem, that people jump to conclusions just hearing allegations now. And that's where we are right now in our society. That's a big problem. That is a big problem, and there are a lot of people who did that, and now they're pulling it back. But in terms of reporting it, I'd do exactly that again. Before we let you go, are you still in communication with, as you referred to, his team? Are you still communicating with them? Well, we're talking to a lot of people here, and they're not saying a whole lot right now. I don't think they know quite what to do. It looks to me like Mark Garagos may be representing him. We can't get to the bottom of it, but there are certainly rumblings of that. So, yeah, we're trying to get information, but it's sparse on his side. Mark Garagos, the well-known attorney out of L.A. Harvey, thank you for your time. You're saying grand jury today. We'll see if that's the case in Chicago. Thank you, sir. Maybe today. Okay. Sure. Thank you. Harvey Levin from TMZ. Thanks, Harvey. Thank you, sir.